shot at the $1 million top prize during Week 1 only on DraftKings. Well, Cam Newton opened up to a Boston radio show about the challenges of being a black quarterback in the NFL. He said, quote, "I do believe for me, when I came into this league, you were almost expected to act a certain way, talk a certain way, prepare a certain type of way, practice a certain type of way, play a game a certain type of way. To see where the league is at now, it makes me smile." Shannon, what are your thoughts on hearing this from Cam?
He's right. When he came into the league, Skip, there's an expectation. As you rise up the socio-economic ladder, as you rise to prominence, you're supposed to act a certain way. And go ahead and get it out to Skip, the elephant in the room. You're supposed to act white. That's how because up that ladder, for the longest time, that place was occupied by whites. So when they say you need to act like a quarterback, the quarterback position in the NFL for the longest time was held by white men. So you need to act like that. How you talk, what you say, when you say it, how you conduct yourself. They have coaching seminars now, Skip, where they have blacks, and they say, well, you can't say it like that. It sounds too confrontational. It sounds too in your face. You got to tone it down. So they're telling you, if you want one of these jobs that you're going to be the face, you're going to be out front, you need to conduct yourself a certain way. They never tell white people, you need to act like a rapper. They don't tell you that, do they, Skip? They don't say that, nothing like that. But you need to act like a CEO. Well, for the longest time, Skip, who occupied the CEO positions? So now what you're seeing, the higher you go, the more the expectation is, Skip. You think an NFL owner, would have ever asked Peyton Manning, you got any tattoos? You got any piercings? Good, keep it that way. You think they would have ever asked any white player, is your mama a prostitute? Of course not. No. See, that's what, think about it, Skip. We have to have a conversation of how we're supposed to act when we come in contact with a police officer. White people don't have that conversation, how you're supposed to act when you come in contact with a police officer. So it's just not the quarterback position. What Cam is talking about is what a lot of black people feel in normal walks of life, that there's an expectation. In order for us to be treated like we're supposed to be treated, we have to act like our counterparts. And if we don't, we're not going to be treated as such. So Cam is absolutely right. I'm glad Cam is finally speaking out on these issues. All he's doing is addressing what blacks in America has known to be true, and especially blacks that have played that position. There's an expectation that they must act a certain way in order to be taken seriously and to be treated fairly.
Allow me to ask you this question.
Yes.
Do you believe that you had to act and dress white, or at least whiter, as you rose up the media?
Yes.
Expound.
I do. I have to dress. I mean, look, I dress high, and I've always, my grandmother just always, son, look presentable, wear clean underwear, make sure your hair is brushed and things of that nature, Skip. But I just feel that in order to be taken serious, and that's why I don't have facial hair. I don't have tattoos. I don't have earrings, because I wanted people to take me serious. I didn't want people to see me as confrontational. I'm a big man to begin with. And if I have tattoos, if I have earrings, they start to have this perception of what I'm actually like, and I'm nothing like that. So this is what you see is what you get. So I absolutely feel that I've had to dress a certain way in order to be taken seriously. Now, me, Skip, when I first got on television, I went to all these speech pathologists and all these trying to collect, because I have a heavy colloquial dialect. I'm from the South, rural South Georgia. But at the end of the day, Skip, I say, hell, this is who I am. This is the way I talk. I can't get on TV and try to be Ed Bradley or Brian Gumble, because that's not who I am. So what you see is what you get. But yes, I've had to dress and be a certain way in order for people to see me in a certain way, as a certain way.
Back to Cam's comments. Obviously, when he broke into the league, what year was it?
2011.
11. Yes, you were expected to act a certain way, handle yourself, present yourself in a certain way, especially playing for Mr. Richardson down in Carolina, right?
Yes.
It's tough. But Cam Newton has shattered the mold in a great way, because he just said, I'm just going to be me. And there's nothing wrong with me, because me wasn't breaking laws off the field or getting in trouble. He got in no trouble.
None.
He had the one incident when he was in his first year at Florida. And yep, that cost him that gig. That was when Tebow was there.
Right.
But he went to Blinn and said, watch what I do here. And he won the national championship at Blinn. He goes to Auburn and wins the national championship.
And the Heisman. And the number one pick.
Bang. Here he goes. I told you earlier in the show that no player would I designate in this league a baller more than this man is. So the point is, yep, he wore his, you call them like crazy clothes. Sometimes they are a little wild, but it's just Cam being Cam.
That's Cam, right.
It's Russell Westbrook being Russell Westbrook. Right. Can you back it up? Yes, you can. He backed it up in those first 2 games. I've never seen anything like it. In fact, he set his bar so high in the first 2 games that he never quite was able to live back up to the bar. All he did was win an MVP and carry his team to the Super Bowl. They had a good defense, but it was Cam. It was all about Cam Newton. Obviously, he did not play great in the Super Bowl. That was mostly because Denver played better.
Right.
But he got that team to Super Bowl. It was 5 years ago, and I keep telling you, he basically died for their cause, quote unquote, because he took so much punishment because he didn't just run the ball. He ran the ball through and over people, not around people, through them. I'll never forget some of the collisions at the goal line with some of those Atlanta linebackers. I've never seen anything quite like it from a quarterback. It worked. He paid some physical prices for it, and I hope they are not going to linger in New England for his sake. But he just said, here I am. I'm going to be me. Any off the field? No off the field. Okay, so you cannot condemn him for any of that because he just said, I'm going to be this guy, right?
And Skip, you remember like when you go, well, Peyton wouldn't say that. Tom Brady wouldn't say like that. Drew Brees wouldn't talk like that. They don't dress like that. They're not out there singing and dancing. Cam is more focused on dancing and doing all this other stuff than playing. How you know how much Cam spends studying? Because it's not conventional, because that's not what Peyton, that's not what the other quarterbacks do. So therefore you criticize Cam. Well, you can do it. I mean, some people, like Michael won 6 championships, but he could go play around the golf. He could go to casinos. Some people choose to focus. Okay, if it works for them, if they're not breaking any laws, why you care?
Okay, speaking of Michael, there's another one called Michael Vick, who also he shattered some molds when he first came in the league in Atlanta because he said, I'm going to dress and wear my hair the way I wear it. And if you want to call it rapper-esque, you can call it, but he just said, nope, here I am.
Yeah, he was embraced by one side of the community and not the other side. Because you have to understand, Skip, when Michael Vick was in Atlanta, I lived in Atlanta. I was there before Mike got there, and I understood. Mike was, but Atlanta is different. Atlanta and New Orleans is different. Their fan base is a lot different, Skip, than the majority of the fan base. Because when you go to those games, you see a lot more people that look like me.
I got it.
That look like Mr. Blank.
Last quick point on this. Remember, white people also expect white quarterbacks to act a certain way because it's seen as the ultimate leadership position in sports. So when Johnny Manziel comes along, he gets annihilated on social media. You're out there drinking and drugging and partying? No, you can't do that. Baker Mayfield, you can't have an incident with the police where you're running from the police while you're inebriated. You cannot do that. And we go back to Jim McMahon with the Super Bowl Bears. He took a lot of criticism, but he backed it up on the field.
Because remember, Skip, the quarterback is seen as the CEO. He's the face. And those faces are normally faces that are not looking like Cam Newton.
Agreed.
We get I forget, Ken Chenault used to be the CEO of American Express. So we'll get a few, 3 or 4. But for the most part, those positions have been occupied by white men, the quarterback and the CEOs. And so they say, act that way.
All right, I want to transition to the Cowboys since they're less than a week away from making their 2020 debut. But the latest news out of Dallas may signal a dramatic shift in the team and their culture. We'll explain the details next.